what's the score? Yeah, Joe is bored for the love of sports. Yeah, Joe is bored. Cleveland! This is for you. Joe is bored. Yeah, Joe is bored. Yeah, Joe is bored.
All right. It's time for your college hoops crash course to get you ready for March Madness. But first, we have breaking news coming out of the NBA regarding my Cleveland Cavaliers, as the Cavaliers have traded point guard Darius Garland to the Los Angeles Clippers for James Harden. Straight up, well, the Cavs included a second-round pick to give to the Clippers, but the Cavs and the Clippers have swapped guards. The core four has finally been broken up. And my instant reaction is it needed to happen. The core four needed to get broken up. They have shown you thus far that their ceiling is the second round. It's not like this is I can't believe they did this. They had, they didn't have enough time together. No. They've had plenty of time. They've had quite a few years together to try and figure out how to make this all work. Granted, there's been injuries happen, which, Darius Garland is dealing with injuries to not just one, but both his big toes at the moment, which, in a way, the Cavs must know something that we all don't regarding Darius Garland and his injury in regards to how early he'll be able to come back this year. And they're in win-now mode. Old Dan Gilbert's probably got the pressure on Kobe Altman right now. Actually, he's probably got the pressure on the whole organization to go do something now with Donovan Mitchell. They did what they did to acquire Donovan Mitchell and re-signed him here in order to win a championship. And they tried it with the core four. And if you can't get to at least the Eastern Conference Finals, now I'm recording this Tuesday night, so there's still 2 days until the trade deadline on Thursday. If you can't win in an Eastern Conference that's this week, when are you ever going to do it? And there's a lot of crying on the internet, and I understand. Darius Garland was a great guy, is a great guy. Embodied Cleveland, love being here. I appreciate Darius Garland for everything that he contributed to the Cleveland Cavaliers and Northeast Ohio as a region. However, as I've always said, I'm never talking trash about you as a human. I'm only speaking on the sport. And this is a business. It's the NBA, where trades in February at the deadline happen like a lunch rush in the McDonald's drive-thru, man. It's quick. It's moving. You got to get going. And the Cavs have obviously felt that the core four isn't going to get us to June. Now, James Harden is the first domino. If they can land Giannis Antetokounmpo, now granted we're going to have to give up Evan Mobley for that, which, again, the goal is to win a championship. The future isn't like, I can't believe they're going to sell the future just to try. Yeah, no shit. That's the goal. That is why you are in professional sports, to win a damn title. And these four guys together have shown you that they can't do it. From Jared Allen saying that the lights are too bright, to Darius Garland continuing to get hurt. Donovan Mitchell disappears quite a bit. He disappeared quite a bit last year. I think James Harden is going to be fine. He's averaging 25 and 8, I believe, right now. He's been a solid option for a Clippers team that's been kind of riding the wave a little bit. Now he wants to contend for a title. And he's 36 years old, and I've seen he quits on it. He's been quitting on his teams his entire career. He just quit on another one. I think he really wants to win a title. If you're that close to the end of your career and you haven't really sniffed it outside of that year with Oklahoma City when he was a rookie, I think, or a second-year pro, come on, man. It gets to a point where, yeah, you can make the money and you can be in LA or you can be in Houston or you can be in Brooklyn. You only get... Not a lot of guys get an opportunity to win a title. I'm not going to say that I absolutely love the trade, because that's yet to be seen, but I will say that I appreciate the Cleveland Cavaliers front office for having the balls to actually do something. I mean, they're trying to win. And if they feel like Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen can't do that with Donovan, then you need to figure something out. This isn't the year in an Eastern Conference where you don't have Jason Tatum on the Celtics, you don't have Tyrese Halliburton helping out the Indiana Pacers. The 76ers haven't been good in forever. You need the Knicks are kind of just hanging around there. We could definitely beat the Pistons if you get Giannis Antetokounmpo, but you had to do something. You absolutely had to do something. And I know it kind of sucks for you younger Cleveland fans. This is what it's like. Welcome. They've been ripping hearts out for centuries, man. For a long, long, long time. Welcome to the heartbreak. At least you'll always have the jerseys, the t-shirts, the photos, the memories. But this is a business. They didn't feel like the core four could win. And I will say it again. I applaud the front office for having the balls to actually do something. Granted, it's a risk, but a risk they felt like they were willing to take, and I actually agree with it. And I think it's going to be great when Donovan's got to sit down or James has got to sit down and you swap one for the other in those key moments. And I'll also add to the fact that Jalen Tyson's emergence as a dog, which I've said for years. You could go back to Cleveland's biggest diehards. I've said it for years. The Cavaliers have needed a dog. They've got too many nice guys who try to get everybody else involved. No, if you got a fucking shot, take it. If you can go to the rim, go. Don't try to help your buddy out because you guys are playing in a fucking Xbox Live party somewhere. Fuck that. Win basketball games and win them convincingly. And I'm probably going to get, oh, well, Joe, they were so good last year. Yeah, and where did it get us? We won way too many games, and they weren't used to losing. They weren't used to adversity. They're still not used to adversity, even though they've been playing a lot better down the stretch. But I think I like the trade. I'm not going to say I love it. I like it, and I agree with it, and I hope this isn't the last one they make. If this is the only move they make, horrible. Shouldn't have done it. Might as well have ridden the wave with the core four. Wait for Darius to come back and Evan to come back and get healthy. But if they land Giannis Antetokounmpo / LeBron gets bought out or something happens in LA and he's here too, man, that was a no-brainer. But we're in wait-and-see mode with that. So I had to start off the show with that. This is the College Hoops Crash Course. This is the episode that will get you refreshed on who is what in college basketball because we've been so consumed with the sport of football, and we're winding down. Super Bowl Sunday is coming up, and you're going to need something to preoccupy your time, and college hoops is the perfect thing to do that. You're going to be filling out a bracket in over a month anyway. So I'm not going to lie to y'all. I haven't been as tapped in as I usually am. It's been super cold, super snowy in Northeast Ohio, and I've kind of really been logging in hours on Road to the Masters. I've been playing a career mode with a guy named Scooby Wilson. I need to get the stream running. I need to get it going because I think y'all would like it. But that's where I've been. I'm sorry. I didn't update, congratulations to Indiana football for winning the national championship. Congratulations to the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks for making it to the Super Bowl. I think I'll come out with an episode. I might do a little digging. I might come out with something. Maybe we'll do a trade deadline recap as well as a Super Bowl preview on Thursday after the dust settles in the NBA because, like I said, there might be another move. But this is the College Hoops Crash Course. I have teams tiered in juggernauts, contenders, good, streaky, don't trust, and watch out for. I don't have Cinderella because Cinderella is kind of hard to figure out right now. You figure out Cinderella around the conference tournament and like those small tiered conferences, you'll figure out who's really good. I've got a couple. I wouldn't call them Cinderellas. I've got them in categories specifically because that's how I feel, but this is just to get you off the diving board into the water. Like I said, I haven't been tapped in, but I'm still watching. I'm still watching a significant amount of college basketball. I'm just not up till 1:30 in the morning making sure Grand Canyon covers a spread against San Diego State. So let's dive into it. We'll start off with the juggernauts. These are the squads that I feel like, and these are men's hoops, by the way. These are the teams that I feel like could win it all, make the run. They are fantastic at what they do, whether it's offense, defense, moving the basketball around, rebounding, second chance points. These squads do it all. And those are undefeated at the moment, Arizona, UConn, Duke, and Kansas with Darren Peterson. When Darren Peterson is in the lineup for the Kansas Jayhawks, that squad is incredible. They are, I hate using the word unstoppable, but they're pretty damn hard to stop. Arizona, if I had to pick a team out of these four juggernauts that I think are fraudulent, or I shouldn't say fraudulent, could trip up in March, I'd say it's Arizona. Arizona's had a tough time with Arizona State, but it's early February. I kind of, if a team loses in the next couple of weeks before the conference tournament, it might be a good thing because, as I stated before with the Cavaliers, sometimes winning a lot and too much is a bad thing. You forget how to lose, and you kind of get a little full of yourself. UConn's kind of going through that right now. Arizona's going through that right now, but the Huskies have kind of, at the beginning of the year, they were a little flat, still trying to figure out how to move the ball. They've got a few new pieces, but man, oh man, have they turned it on. They're not like those Husky teams that went back-to-back, but I got a strong feeling that they could very well run the table, and you're not going to want to play the Huskies. They're definitely getting a 1 seed if they continue to just keep pouring it on. They do need to lose. They've won 17, maybe 18 in a row. I don't know if they've beaten Xavier yet as I'm recording this, but they do need to lose soon, and once they do, hop on. Get on the fucking UConn Husky train. But I would say Arizona would be the one in the juggernaut tier to, they could win it all, but they could run into a 12 seed, a 5 seed, something like that kind of just, I can't believe that happened. I could see that with Arizona, but credit to Tommy Lloyd. He's got the Cats going crazy, and Duke is just Duke. I mean, Boozer's playing absolutely lights out. They play hellacious pressure when they're on defense. A fun Duke team to watch, I'll give them that. They're not like, they don't really have any villains. You know how usually Duke's got guys that you're like, man, fuck that guy, fuck this team. No, they're fun to watch. They're actually really fun to watch. So the juggernauts are Arizona, UConn, Duke, and Kansas with Darren Peterson. And if you want my opinion, it might just be my Canton, Ohio bias coming in. Darren Peterson's the best player in the country. He shut down A.J. DeBonsa over the weekend. When they played BYU, he didn't miss a shot until like seconds before halftime, Darren Peterson. The guy just elevates the Kansas Jayhawks to, they go from here when he's not on the floor to all the way up here. So those are your juggernauts. Your contenders are Michigan, Illinois, and Houston. Houston is still Houston. Kelvin Sampson's squad, they still play fast, they still put pressure on you, and they shoot the hell out of the three. Michigan is kind of, they could give one of the juggernauts a run for their money, same as Illinois. I think Michigan is slightly better than Illinois, but all three of these teams, I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up in the Final Four or even the championship when it comes to April. So are they as good as any of the juggernauts? No, they're not. But I wouldn't be surprised if they found their way to the Final Four. Your good teams are Gonzaga, Nebraska, Purdue, as much as it pains me to say it, this Purdue team is different, Florida, Virginia, St. Louis, and Kansas without Darren Peterson. If Darren Peterson's not on the floor, Kansas goes from here to here. Woo, there we go. Gonzaga is not your Gonzaga that you're used to seeing. Yes, they're good. They have a dog. His name is escaping me, and I should have done a refresh on it before I hit record, but I believe his number is 15. He just grinds, man. He's all over the place. Wherever the ball is, he's there, man. But when he's not on the floor, Gonzaga's not as good as when he is. But they're good. They're still good. They'll still win a couple tournament games for you. Nebraska is really, they're the one where it's like, where the fuck did this come from? Having the greatest year in Nebraska basketball history. They move the ball around. They shoot lights out with it, just like Purdue. Purdue actually is running offense through Braden Smith. They're actually running the offense around him, letting him create for others. Fletcher Lawyer's jumper is insane right now. Florida, it started off slow, but are slowly finding that gear that they found when they won the title last year. Virginia still kind of they're good. They're humming around. St. Louis is that they're in the Atlantic 10. They're very, very physical, and those are your good teams. You're streaky. They're either title contenders or just god awful. Arkansas, BYU, and I put BYU could be in the good tier, but because of what I watched from AJ DeBonsa on Saturday against Kansas, where he didn't even attempt a shot until 10 minutes to go in the first half. You can't have that in March. You can't have your best player not even look for an opportunity with half the first half gone. You can't do that. So they're in the streaky. Texas Tech just got beat by a scrappy Central Florida team. They're in the streaky. Iowa State, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and Wisconsin. Now, Kentucky is on my rising up. They were down early against Arkansas and then just fought like hell to get that W over the weekend. They're starting to figure it out. They're starting to play together. But again, streaky. It's same as with Wisconsin, man. Some nights they figure it out. Some nights they don't. And you should keep that in mind when you're watching these games all the way up to the bracket. Don't trust. St. John's, crazy, right? I picked them to win. This is not the same team from last year. They're not even streaky. Just don't trust them. Don't trust St. John's. Don't trust Tennessee. Don't trust Alabama. And I know they're undefeated, but do not trust Miami of Ohio. They might not even win the MAC. Akron might take that tournament spot from them when they actually play the conference championship or the conference tournament, excuse me. I wouldn't trust any of those teams. Rick Barnes made a comment the other day talking about something along the lines of, I sometimes wonder if my guys are betting on games when I watch them play out there, which is something you absolutely do not say. But no matter what number you see next to their name, no matter how far you see them go, now this could all be subject to change, but from what I've seen so far, I would not trust Tennessee. Alabama, I don't know how Bediako was able to come back after playing in the NBA for a while. The NCAA's got to figure this bullshit out with transfer portal, with professionals in basketball coming back. It's all a clusterfuck. It's all a mess. It's not as bad as football has gotten, but goddamn, where it's neck and neck. And I already talked about Miami of Ohio, and my watch out for UCF, who just got a big win at home against Texas Tech, as I talked about. Utah State, Iowa, whose head coach now is the former head coach from Drake. They don't play as slow as they used to at Drake, but they still kind of move the ball, set the offense up. Their point guard is the point guard from Drake last year that had a lot of success with the Bulldogs, now with the Hawkeyes. Watch out for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Clemson's playing really good ball. Seton Hall, whose head coach came from St. Peter's when they made that run. He's at his alma mater. It took a couple of years, but he's finally got his system in place. The Pirates are playing good ball. High Point, Grand Canyon, and Stephen F. Austin. You could call those Cinderellas, but if you watch them, they could easily make it to the Elite Eight if they get there. Those are my watch out fors. That's my crash course for you. I can't wait to keep talking college basketball with y'all. I just wanted to get y'all, like, these are the names you need to hear. These are the storylines you need to know. If you're going to put a future in, put one in on UConn. I'm telling you. If the Huskies keep rolling and they even find another gear on top of the gear they're on right now, woo, it's going to be tough to stop. But that's the crash course. Once again, thank you, Darius Garland, for everything. Welcome to Cleveland, James Harden. And I will be back with the NBA trade deadline recap and the Super Bowl preview on Thursday. Till then, stay safe. Go sports, y'all.